everyone, welcome back to Spooky Easy. My name is Jessie, your spooky storyteller extraordinaire. Back at it again to talk about more spooky stuff. I hope you like my hat. I got it at this dollar store and I couldn't resist wearing it tonight just because it is so cute. Slay all day and it's around Christmas time, so why not? I'm back once again after not posting last week. I'm very sorry about that. As I mentioned in my Instagram and my Facebook story, I completely forgot how busy I get during this time of year, so I had to do a lot of Christmas shopping. I had to make sure that everything was in order at work and all that stuff, just because around this time I just don't have enough time to do the recording. And the fact that Toronto just went into lockdown last week really didn't help things at all for my personal life and for work. I'm just glad that I managed to get everything done last week, and taking the time off really did help with that. I'm still going to try my best to bring out a video every week, but more than likely it's going to have to stay at every 2 weeks basically. It's really annoying to have to adult, I'll be honest with you. I'm still going to try to talk about as much spooky things as I can with you though, just because I do love talking about scary things. I just can't keep my mouth shut about it. All the same, I do hope that you forgive me. Speaking of lockdown, a lot of people are staying at home right now these days simply because they are mandated by the government to do it. Some people have opted to not go to work, they just work from home. Some people are having to stay home because the schools have shut down, things like this. And really they should, just to stop the spread of the COVID-19 virus. We don't want people getting sick left, right, and center anymore. We really want to make sure that those numbers stay down, so I completely understand why the government decided to do that. And just as a PSA, please remember to always wash your hands and wear a mask whenever you do go around crowded areas. Just be considerate of others, you know? As I was saying, because people are opting to stay at home now, there is a lot of uncertainty, a lot of fear going around as to what's going on with this virus, and as such, it can invite negative energy to come into your home unintentionally, but all the same a very scary thing to experience in your own home, the place where it's supposed to be considered safe. This inspired me to create a video on how to bless your home, either religiously or spiritually. Just a quick disclaimer though, I am not an expert by any means. I'm not a religious figurehead. I'm not a spiritual leader, anything like that. I just so happen to believe in attracting negative energy when you yourself are feeling negative. And basically there are steps that I personally take in order to kind of alleviate my environment that way. If you feel negative on the inside, these kinds of feelings will come back to you. So it's the very least that I can do, besides talking about ghosts and spooky things and things like that, I can maybe try to be a little bit more positive this episode, just to help you bring more positivity into your home. So before we do get into tonight's topic, I do want to quickly let you know what I'm drinking tonight. For some reason, I've been really craving fruity drinks. I've opted for a vodka cranberry. Literally just a little bit of iceberg vodka and a little cranberry juice. Lots of ice, super refreshing. This was actually my go-to drink when I used to live and work on a cruise ship a few years ago, and it's never steered me wrong, gets me nice and spirited. So that being said, please drink responsibly. Maybe drink a little bit of water as well, just so that you can keep hydrated, and cheers to you. So I did do a little bit of research in regards to how to bless your home, either religiously or spiritually. Depending on what religion that you do follow, there are different ways to do it. At the end of the day, it's kind of the same. Usually it means that you are required to bring some kind of priest or pastor or religious figurehead to come into your home to do a certain blessing, a certain prayer to protect your home from anything evil, that kind of thing, usually when you move into a new home. Of course, there are special circumstances where if you feel that there's something especially negative in your home, that you would ask for a religious figurehead to come into your home to do a proper blessing to get rid of that negative energy. I'm going to use my trusty phone just to go over a few notes, just because I don't want to miss out on anything and get you nice and educated. That being said, I am using WikiHow, so please, if I get something wrong, I do apologize in advance. And just a quick side note as well, if you feel like you're dealing with a very strong negative energy, like for example, a demon, always ask a professional to do it, like a priest or a religious leader or something like that. You don't want to tackle something like that yourself, and I will discuss that a little bit after I finish talking about these things here. That being said, I'm just going to quickly go over how to do a Christian blessing, something that I'm kind of familiar with because we did try to do it in one of the many houses that I used to live in as a youngster. It didn't work, by the way. Remember what I said earlier? Yeah. That's why. The proper blessing of a Christian household dates back to ancient times, whether it be in Roman Catholic or Protestant or Orthodox household. Basically, it's a very old tradition. The blessing may be done by either an ordained priest or a pastor, or the homeowner themselves could do it, I guess, if it's just to bless your house. Again, be very careful if you feel like there's something darker in your home. Normally, the priest will go from room to room, blessing each room with holy water, saying certain prayers, just basically making sure that the whole place is cleansed. If you prefer to bless your home yourself, you may use anointing oil, which is basically extra virgin olive oil. I think it's cold pressed as well, and it does need to be blessed by a priest anyway. You can, again, sprinkle it from room to room. I believe it's every window and every door that you need to do the sign of the cross with it, and basically just saying prayers so that, again, your space is cleansed. And it can just be a simple prayer. It doesn't need to be anything strictly from the Bible where you specifically need to say it exactly in this way. No, it's just, if you really want to bless your home, you can make your own kind of mantra. Just repeat it over and over and go from room to room, blessing your home. I found out that if you're Jewish, apparently there's certain traditions that you can take on yourself as well. You don't necessarily need to have a rabbi present in your home to do it. Apparently the Jewish families are required to put something called a mezuzah. I'm going to leave a spelling of it. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. And to fix it on every door in the home, and basically just saying prayers from the Torah. Apparently the best day to move into a new home according to the Jewish tradition is to do it on a Tuesday, something I learned today. So after saying a few short prayers after fixing the mezuzah on each and every door in the home, they invite their friends over. Again, speaking of words from the Torah, just having a nice little party to basically to have a good time welcoming the new homeowners. Now in a Hindu blessing, a priest is required from the temple to come into the home to say some prayers in a very specific way. Apparently, moving into a new home is just as important, maybe second, to getting married. It's the second most important thing compared to getting married, if you can imagine that. I guess I can actually agree with that because my biggest dream is to buy a house. Now, according to the article, the move-in day needs to be chosen by the priest, and on that day, the blessing must take place. Apparently, it's quite traditional to offer this priest a tray of specific items to use in the blessing. So things like raw rice, some coins, some ghee, things like this. Things that are plentiful for the priest to use. Now, apparently, the priest will sit in front of a fireplace, assuming that the homeowners do have one, and say a bunch of prayers, basically praying to the Hindu gods to bring peace and prosperity into the home. The way to bless your home in the Islam religion, you don't really need a specific priest or an imam to come to your home to do any specific kind of blessing, though I can imagine if you wanted to, you can. For any religion for that matter, you can. This is something that you can do on your own if you're Muslim. Now, I'm going to read this from my phone because it's something that I don't want to mispronounce. Upon moving into a house, it is a good idea to perform a 2-cycle prayer, asking Allah to bestow barakah, rahmah, and khair upon the home. Basically, that means asking Allah to bestow blessing, mercy, and remembrance upon the home. You also actually do a prayer on keeping the evil eye off of your home. Another topic I'm going to cover on a future video. Basically, this prayer protects you from any negative person outside of your home from seeking to harm you, those that are envious and jealous of all the prosperity that you're trying to bring into your home. It's also very common for the Muslim people to hold a housewarming party similar to other religions as well, basically to share the prosperity and again to invite more positive things in your home and share in the prosperity and the peace, kind of as a way to give thanks to Allah. And it doesn't just stop there either. Actually, I have a few very close best friends that are Muslim as well. Every time they enter their household, they do say a blessing. I'm not going to say it just because I will butcher it. I'm going to put it up there, and basically it's just every time they enter the home that you're doing a blessing. Now, this is new to me. I actually hadn't heard about this, even though I spent quite a bit of time in Thailand. And apparently they have a blessing in the Buddhist religion as well when somebody enters a new home, when they move into a new home. This article says it's specifically to Thailand. However, I'm sure that other countries also do this tradition. They hold a ceremony known as the Kwan Ban Mai. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. When a new house is built, and it's again to protect the house and its inhabitants. The ceremony is performed by a group of 9 monks or an odd number of monks who must be invited invited to the house early on the morning of the ceremony. Basically, they use water and wax and a long white piece of string, passing it throughout each other, these 9 monks, or however many number of monks there are, chanting the same prayer over and over again, just wishing peace and prosperity to the new homeowners. This is all done in the morning, by the way. When the monks are finished with their chanting and their prayers, what they do next is they feast on a glorious brunch kind of deal prepared by the family, and of course once they're finished their meal, then they must leave before noon strikes. After they leave, then it's a grand old feast again with all the friends and family. They also do that kind of ceremony with the string with all the friends and family, just again giving all the well wishes to the new homeowners. I gotta say, all of these have something to do with some kind of party, and I'm completely down for that. I mean, celebration all around, I can dig it. That just covers some of the religions. There are dozens of ways to bless your home, but these are just some of the most interesting ones that I found. Now, when it comes to a spiritual blessing of your home, it's a little bit similar to how you would do it in a religious blessing, except that with a spiritual blessing, you're not really praying to one sole creator. You're more relying on your own positive energy, your own vibes, so to speak, to try to cleanse your space, along with some artifacts. You can surround yourself with all kinds of artifacts. I actually have a couple myself. Even being Christian, I still have a few things to protect myself, to ward off any negative energy. Some people do opt to buy things like crystals as well. Some crystals have some kind of properties that help get rid of some kinds of energies and to actually attract better energies into your home, for example. So I did find a way to cleanse your space on the internet. Again, I'm not an expert. I just chose this way because it really resounded with me, because it sounded the most logical, I guess you could say. Step 1 is to declutter your home. Make sure that it's a clean space. Try to sweep all that dust out of your home. Dust everything, the works. Step 2 is to invite your friends over for a nice little party. They are going to help to do the cleansing as well. Step 3, light a pink candle. This article says specifically a pink candle. I think you can use a white candle as well. Pink symbolizes love and friendship, while the white one, of course, represents peace and purity. Step 4, share the blessings with your friends. Stand in a circular kind of positioning, passing this candle around to everybody, and basically just sharing what you wish upon the new homeowner. Wishing for peace on the home, wishing for plentiful gatherings, that kind of thing. Step 5, walk through your home room by room with the same candle, wishing what you want out of that room. For example, if you're in the kitchen, you want to say, I wish my fridge would be full of food all the time. Plentiful. I've run out of fingers. Step 6 is basically to put your candle down, let it burn for an hour so that the ambiance can be filled with these well wishes for the new home. Step 7 is to open all east-facing windows, and this apparently brings about all kinds of light, all kinds of positive energies to come into your home. The way I bless my home, more or less, is just I burn an incense stick, as I mentioned to you before. It is sage, just to clear out any negative energy, and I do it before I start recording each video. I also say a little prayer. Not only this, I do open the window so that any negative energy will escape. And it's not just specific to when I record. I also do it at the end of a bad day, because if I feel like I'm being plagued by too many negative energies, I want to try to get rid of those as soon as possible so I can start a new day on a brighter note. I also have smudge sticks. I'm going to insert a picture here just so you know what it looks like. And basically it's a bit stronger. You're supposed to use a eagle feather leaf along with a bowl, a certain kind of bowl, and again I'm going to insert the picture there. And basically this helps to get rid of anything extra bad. I do plan on going ghost hunting in the future as well. It's always good to have some kind of protection against such things. I might actually also get a singing bowl. I'll insert a picture as to what that is here, just because the high frequency sounds apparently help cleanse your space. Now, this being said, as I was mentioning earlier, I do recommend that if you do have something negative, if you feel like something demonic in your household, do not attempt to handle such situations yourself. The reason why I say this is because 9 times out of 10, if your home is plagued by something dark, you yourself are going to be plagued by something dark. And it's not something that you are wishing for, it's just something that happens. Naturally, these kinds of entities want to latch onto something living so that they themselves can get the energy. Ignoring it doesn't help either. The more you ignore it, the more this presence is going to try to make itself known, therefore bringing about more fear, therefore feeding it. It's important to acknowledge it, yes, I will say that. However, make sure when you do acknowledge it, it's with a professional and they know what they're doing. You hear in so many stories and books and TV shows and movies, God knows the movies, where people want to handle these things themselves because they think that they're all-knowing for some crazy reason, and they end up making the whole situation 10 times worse. Another reason why you want a religious figurehead or something like that to get rid of such evil entities is because they know how to handle such evil entities. For example, you're not going to get rid of a demon by using sage smoke. It's not possible. What that's going to signal to it is that you know it's there, you want to get rid of it, therefore pissing it off and making it dig its heels in even more. The reason why I know this is because when I was about 9 years old, we did move into a house that was questionable. I'm going to do a whole other story time on that house, but just very quickly, I was 9 years old in that house. Basically, I think that was the only house that I remember that we did hire a priest to come in to bless it. Unfortunately, we did have a kind of dark beacon in our lives at that time that was attracting this negative energy that we didn't know about. So the priest came in, he did his blessing, and ultimately, it made things 10 times worse. He didn't come back for another blessing, and usually when it comes to these kind of darker entities, more than one visit is required from a priest. In any case, these are just my opinions based on my observations and my experiences. Blessing a home is not linear. They're all not going to be done the same way. However, the feeling is there in each case. You want peace, you want tranquility, you want positive things to happen in your life. You need to bring that to you. My sole belief is that thoughts become things. If you are thinking negatively, negative things are sure to happen to you. If you have a positive kind of personality, thinking, way of life, these things will come back to you. Maybe not in ways that you expect, but they will come back to you. If you think too many negative things, unfortunately, negative things will happen to you. Again, not in ways that you expect. I'm actually guilty of this as well. I'm not going to lie. I'm not perfect. I'm human. If I'm negative, I find that a lot of negative things continue to happen to me, but I still work at myself and I do try to get myself out of that way of thinking. Cause and effect. No matter what, try your best. I'm sure you'll be successful. I believe in you. Thank you once again for supporting me. To those that have subscribed to me, thanks so much for your patience. I am, again, going to try to bring as many videos as I can to you to talk about spooky things. If you're new here, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it, as again, I like to talk about scary things and I just want to bring them to you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, click the notification bell so that you can continue to get access to all the scary tales. And don't forget to comment, don't forget to send me an email with any scary thing that you might want me to talk about at stories@spookyeasy.com. Again, thanks so much for joining me. Ciao for now. It's really hot. Can you open the window? Whew, it's so hot. Just a quick dislike. 3, 2, 1. Just a quick. A Hindu priest is actually required to come into the home to say some. Oh my god, my nose is running.